welcome back to my channel. Hi, my name is Rachel. I do lots of Taylor Swift unboxings, travel videos, mental health videos. If that sounds like something that would be interesting to you, it would mean the absolute world if you could like and subscribe. Today, we're going to be talking about my least favourite Taylor Swift merch. I do just want to start this video off by saying this is my own opinion on this merch. If you like this merch, if you have this merch, please know that it is okay. It is okay. Like, I am not judging you for owning that merch. You are free to have that merch. I bet you absolutely rock that merch. This is just for me, just like my own personal opinion on what I don't really like and what I personally don't really think works. However, I'm mainly just talking about like the actual photo of it online. I've not really seen a lot of these merch items actually on people. So if you have any of these items of merch, it is completely okay. Please do not take my video and be like, oh no, I thought it was nice, blah, blah, blah. But like, it is still nice. If you like it, and that is okay. We had to get that out of the way because I don't want to upset anyone with this. This is meant to be a light-hearted video. But anyway, let's get on with it. So, Taylor Swift has had a lot of merch over the years. I mean, she's had an almost 20-year kind of career since debut came out 19 years ago. And in that time, there has been some fantastic pieces of Taylor Swift merch. You know, the original cardigan, the Reputation tour merch. There has been a lot of good merch. However, because there's been so much merch, there's also been a lot of interesting merch. And it is important to note with so many of these items I'm going to name, they're kind of just of the time. Like, some of them were released ages ago, so many years ago, that they were cool then and it was like in fashion then. But when we look back at it, you know, 10 years later, we're like, oh. But this isn't just exclusive to Taylor Swift merch. This happens for all fashion. You know, we look back on what we wore 5 years ago and we're like, oh, that's not great. So obviously the same kind of goes for Taylor Swift. However, if you do like any of these things still, that is okay, because I'm sure this fashion will come back in eventually. So we're going to start off very, very strong with the Stella McCartney collection. Now, this collection features a lot in my least favourite Taylor Swift merch, but we're going to start off with what I perhaps think is one of Taylor Swift's worst merch items, and that is the Summers and Knife jumper. Yes. Now, the Lover merch was interesting because you had a lot of really, really great pieces of Lover merch. You also had some not so great pieces of Lover merch, and I think this is one of those things. The Stella McCartney Taylor Swift collab was great in terms of that it was better for the environment compared to like most artist merch, because a lot of artist merch, it isn't great for the environment. This was better. However, the designs on it, not so much, and also the price of it. These were expensive pieces of merch because obviously it's collaborating with a huge designer, Stella McCartney. Now, Stella McCartney has some beautiful items. She's even dressed Taylor before. Like, she has great fashion design sense. I just think, I don't know what happened with this collaboration. It's the simple thing here, because you look at this jumper, it's got a unicorn on it. I think the Summers and Knife lyric's a bit weird as well. I don't know, like, Cruel Summer has so many great lyrics that why include that one with a picture of a unicorn? Like, are you trying to eliminate the unicorn? I'm just not sure what was going on there. Like, I don't really have many words to describe it. Now, some people have this merch and I'm sure they absolutely rock it, but this item I think is perhaps one of her worst. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that is official merch. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to talk about another thing for this collaboration, and it is one that, again, like, this merch was more expensive compared to most artists' merch because she's working with this huge designer. So why do we have a picture of an Instagram post on a jumper that was like $18, $19? Now, obviously that is the norm for merch now, but this was 2019. Merch was slightly cheaper in 2019. You know, a lot has happened in those 6 years. Why? Is what I want to know. Like, it's just, I don't think it's a bad picture of Taylor Swift's cat. Her cat looks absolutely lovely. I think it's just the fact it's an Instagram post, you know, it's even in the 1080 by 1080, it's a square, it's just unusual. And then it just says Stella McCartney times Taylor Swift 2019, and yeah, yeah, like I don't really have much to say about it. I just think this is a piece of merch that perhaps shouldn't have been made. In my personal opinion, I just think it was expensive for what it is, and I think it is essentially an Instagram post with 2 names on it. And those 2 names are obviously very iconic, but it couldn't save that design. I'm so sorry. Next up, we're gonna be bringing Taylor's cats back. I want to say I love cats. I do own some of the Taylor Swift cat merch. I love my cat. I have a cat as well. I'm a cat lady. But the pink crop jumper with like the purple sky and Olivia with the lightning coming out of her paw. Now this was a popular piece of merch, I think 2018, I think it was 2017, 2018 when it came out. Taylor even wore it, I think, at a meet and greet. I think crop was very in fashion, like in 2018, 2017, crop, like everything was cropped. Every single item you would buy would be cropped. And I am a crop lover, I'm a crop t-shirt lover. Crop jumpers not as much, but crop t-shirts I love, and I just think it was of its time, maybe. It was of its time. I think maybe it's a bit more 2014, kind of like galaxy leggings sort of style. But it's definitely an interesting piece of Taylor Swift merch that exists. This one is a weird one because I don't necessarily think it's a bad piece of merch. It's actually kind of cool, but it's also just weird. So I'm going to include it in this anyway, but it's the 1989 Taylor's version viewfinder. It was $19.89, so to be honest, for a piece of Taylor Swift merch in this day and age is pretty good because all artist merch is now just so much more expensive. But it's just such a wild piece of merch because it is just kind of a collector's item. It's just kind of something that will sit on your shelf. It's cool. Part of me kind of wishes I had it, but another part of me is like, yeah, Rachel, you saved money on that. That was sensible. You don't need a viewfinder, because I did have viewfinders when I was a kid. I have a Disneyland Paris one. But yeah, this is, I mean, it's cool. It's very 80s, 90s, obviously like 1989, but it's just a bizarre piece of merch, I think. Do you see where I'm coming from with this? Like, it's not necessarily bad. I think it's more bizarre. I think that's the way to put it. Another thing I wasn't a huge fan of were the cycling shorts. These were like $50. I think they went down in the sales like £9. I know one person who has these. They're just not very Taylor Swift. They're just kind of like tie-dye. They kind of look a little bit stained because of the tie-dye, I think. And it just has a little TS on the bottom of it. Now, some people really love really subtle Taylor Swift merch. I think this is subtle to the point you don't even think it's Taylor merch. You could just think you could just get this at Primark. So yeah, that's why it's a little bit lower down for me on the list of good Taylor Swift merch, because I think it's just too subtle. I know subtle Taylor Swift merch is a lot of fans' favourite. That's why people love the cardigan so much, because it's subtle compared to just having Taylor Swift's face all over the merch. Whereas it gets a point where it's too subtle, I think. The I Heart Taylor Swift shirt. Now hear me out, I probably would wear this, but I also think it's bizarre because this was released, I swear, like not recently, but in the past 10 years. Like to the point where like after the 1989 era, this was kind of weird merch. Like this merch would have been released Speak Now era like and before, but after 1989 it's a pretty wild piece of merch to release. But I do kind of like it in a weird way. That is the thing with a lot of these merch items, I think, yeah, they're kind of weird looking, I don't like them, and then I'm like, wait, I kind of wish I had them and I would wear them. Does anyone get where I'm coming from with this, where you're like, I don't think it looks good, but also I kind of want to get it? No, just me. Another piece of Taylor Swift merch. Now this one is controversial because some people do really like this, but I think the snow globes, not all of the snow globes, I think some of the snow globes are nice, but some of them I don't like as much. Specifically the Speak Now snow globe, which is for the Speak Now TV snow globe, where it's like in a bird cage. I like the bird cage aspect, I just don't know if we necessarily needed the Speak Now album in there. Like the TV one, obviously. I know now she owns the stolen version and stuff, so like I don't know if it was meant to be like, oh, the album was locked away, because it doesn't really make sense in the same way because it's the Taylor's version, like that's not locked away. I don't know. I think it would have been better without the album in it. And then the Fearless Vault Snow Globe. Now the Fearless Vault Snow Globe is cool because like the Vault thing was so cool when we were like deciding the Vault tracks, and I'm kind of sad that we might not get another one of those. I mean, maybe we will, but I can't really see us getting another one just because like obviously Taylor owns her masters now, but we do think we're gonna get debut TV and like the Rep TV Vault tracks, so maybe she'll do another reveal like that, but I don't know. I just think from the videos and pictures I saw, it looked a little bit cheap. I saw a lot of people's arrived damaged and stuff, so I don't know. I think for the price I'm not sure if it was worth, even though I think the concept's really cool of the Fearless Vault, and it would have been nice if they released these for each of the vaults. I'm not sure what I think about it. What do you guys think on that one? Because I think this one, it's kind of like, I think it's a cool in concept. I just don't think the final release of it like was the best. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, because I'm actually really curious, because I think this is one that people absolutely love, so I think it's a little bit weird that I don't like it. Red, Taylor's version, All Too Well tissues. They're fine, like there's nothing wrong with them. They were just $10 for a pack of 4 tissues, which is quite a lot. So that's the only reason why that's a bit lower, because I have no issue with the merch, I just think it's a bizarre price. This t-shirt is such a wild one to include, because I feel like people will forget about this one. It's not like an iconic piece of Taylor merch in any way, it was just kind of released with the rest of like Red Taylor's version merch. But it's the Babe crop like t-shirt, it's like a beige sort of colour. The reason I don't like it is the What About Your Promises Promises, that's fine. What is that font? Why did they use that font? Like I don't even think that font's used on the album, or like they should have done it all caps, because like a lot of like red stuff is just in all caps. I just think it looks like you've made it on like Paint or like a Canva free subscription. Like it's just, there are so many better fonts out there. I'm not sure why they chose this one. I think they could have chosen a better one. Now on the back it's pretty cool, it's got a picture of Taylor. I like the back. Honestly, if what was on the back was on the front, I'd probably like this piece of merch. But it's just that font. It's just that font. That's all they needed to change, and then I think it would be quite nice. But I can't agree with it in this current state. Taylor Swift, You Are the Best Thing That's Ever Been Mine. This was obviously like Speak Now merch. So you got to bear in mind this one was like 2010. So it is completely understandable why it looks like this, but looking back, it's wild. It just kind of looks like the sort of merch you would find at a market, but not like a cool like independent market, the kind of market that has just a bunch of stuff you can tell they bought from like dropshippers. That's the kind of merch that it looks like. It doesn't look high quality. I think just the mixture of like the fonts and the colours, it's very messy. At the time, pretty cool. 2010, I would have thought this is awesome, but 2025, Rachel thinks it's a bit messy. Another one of the Speak Now merch, Why You Gotta Be So Mean. This one, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's the font. It makes it kind of just look a bit like Joker horror sort of merch rather than Taylor Swift merch. Just because the font kind of looks aggressive. Especially with the mean being in all red, it's kind of like, why have you gotta be so mean? Like, what you gonna do, Taylor? Like, it's scary. It shouldn't be scary, but it's scary. This Fearless t-shirt, it would have been so good without the random like sparkle squiggle. It just looks like, again, they used paint to add that sparkly squiggle, which is really annoying because the Fearless TV merch was really good. Like the t-shirts kind of looking like old sort of band and sort of festival t-shirts. They were really good. But then you just have random ones like this where they just add a random bit, presumably just to make it a little bit more exciting rather than just being like really plain and standard. But people like plain and standard. This, I think, was just so close to being good. And that's the thing with a lot of this merch, it's so close to being good. And then they do something and it's like, oh, why? Why did you do that, guys? Why did you do that, guys? It's not for me. Not for me personally. I don't like a lot of the tie-dye merch. I think some of the tie-dye merch is fine, but some of the tie-dye merch, the colours they've chosen, like the Miss Americana one, is like black and yellow. It looks like someone stood on a bee. This Fearless one, it looks like someone just spilt coffee all over your jumper. I think there are nice tie-dyes and then there are questionable ones, and these are one of the questionable ones. I didn't like this when this was first released because I love the 1989 merch, especially the original 1989 merch. Like, I was 15, I thought everything was cool. This denim set with like the I Know Places lyric with the fox, I don't know what it was about it. I just don't think I liked the fox on it. I think the fox could have been a cuter fox. Obviously, you know, that's not the theme of the song, but it was just a bit boring, and again, it was quite expensive, and I just didn't like that. And like now I think it's kind of forgotten about because obviously it was original 1989 merch, but I just think for me it's not one that I personally like. It wouldn't be a worse Taylor Swift merch video without including this, the Taylor Swift tie dress thing. I don't know why they did this, but it's a dress, but they have this bit on the front that's meant to look like you have something tied around your waist when you don't, but only on the front. It just looks really bizarre. A lot of fans at the time were like, what is this? Taylor did wear it, she looked great, but I don't know many people that bought this merch. And for some reason they then did it again during Folklore. They released like a blue dress doing the same thing with like the tie, and I think this one was even worse because it was blue so you could see that nothing was like behind it, whereas the black one it kind of blended in a little bit. But this just bizarre. I have seen someone with this now. I didn't think anyone owned this. I saw one person owns it and they looked lovely in it, but like just looking at that on the website, it's like who wants it? And it was $90, so it's like, oh, who was buying this stuff? You know, I think sometimes we see Taylor Swift merch, we're like, yay, Taylor, and then you're like, oh, I would never wear that if it wasn't Taylor Swift merch. I don't know what's going on there. So that one for me is one of the worst items out there. I'm sorry, I just don't get the concept of having it look like a jacket's tied around your waist when it's not. I don't understand that. The Meredith jumper, t-shirt, it's a t-shirt with Meredith wearing glasses, like the hipster glasses. This, if it was released in 2012, would be in fashion, it would be cool. This was very 2012, 2013. It was released rep era 2017, 2018. Just a bit outdated even when it was released. I mean, now very outdated, but some people think it's cool. And I think that's great. Like, again, I realize a lot of this merch is the cat merch. I do want to clarify, I like Taylor's cats, I like cats, but some of the merch with the cats on isn't for me. It's not for me. And last but not least, I'm going to include one that's really controversial, but the Rep merch with the holes in. Reputation merch was great. It was really good. The quality was fantastic. I love the designs, but why the random holes? Like, I get it's the aesthetic, like 2017 again, like that was kind of the aesthetic, but like the holes were really big. Like on the white crop Rep jumper, I have this. In some of my earlier videos, I think I'm wearing it in it. I love that jumper so much. I love it. But the holes are so big that the, like, where there's like the fabric in between the holes, it just gets like stretched, I think, and the holes just get bigger. So I don't like that thing, because there is this black one that I thought was really, really cute, and it would be really nice if it didn't have the holes in. Like, I live in England. We need all the coverage we can get because it gets cold. So don't put holes in my clothing, because if you don't realize it's Taylor Swift merch, you look at someone and think, oh, they just have clothes with holes in. Like, that's not the look you really want to go for. So controversial, because I do love the Reputation merch, but that kind of merch I don't love as much. Let me know in the comments, what are some of your least favourite Taylor Swift merch items? I am sure some of you will list some of the things I own, because I definitely have some of the more questionable merch items that I know people don't like, but I am really curious to know your opinions in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's just been a little kind of fun one, just a little bit of, you know, just talk about some of the funnier Taylor Swift merch items out there. I could do a part 2 of this, I could do a part 3 if that's something people would be interested in. Please let me know in the comments. And if you are new here or you're returning and you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because it is free and it really, really helps out me and the channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for supporting me, and as always, have a great day.